Hi, this is Dave Byers, and I'm going to help you with some strumming patterns. It's one of the most popular things that you see out there, that people have troubles in the beginning with strumming patterns, and that's understandable. It's something you haven't done before. I've got a couple other videos how to tune your guitar, your first basic chords, which order you should learn them in, of course, and then changing chords back and forth. Make sure you watch those first, because if you haven't covered those techniques, then it's going to be tough to get to this spot because you haven't covered the ground rolls yet, you know what I mean, sort of thing. So please cover those, or please watch those videos first. That said, let's go into strumming patterns, your first strumming patterns. These are going to be basic strumming patterns. You got to walk before you run, sort of thing. So let's talk about music. You need to count to 4 over and over and over and over again. I'm just kidding. Obviously, there's other time signatures, but the one we're going to start with in the beginning, the one everybody starts with, is 4/4. So we're going to count to 4, and then we're going to count to 4 over and over and over again, basically. So when you do that, you can either do that in your head and try and keep the same pace, or you can use a metronome or a drum machine or a drum beat off of a computer, which is what I'm going to show you as well. Or really cool is you can get yourself a drummer. That's even more fun. But if you just try to use your head, what happens is that you'll go faster on the chords that you're comfortable with, and slower, or even hitting the brakes on chords that you're not familiar with. So I would strongly encourage you to use one of those methods other than just winging it on your own, because we all speed up on the parts we're good at and we slow down on the parts we're not good at, and we don't realize that. And then one day we join a band, or we get into a group, or even just play along with somebody else, and we can't keep in time, or we're driving them up a wall and we don't understand what the problem is. A musician has got to be able to play in time. So with that said, let me show you a couple of different options. Number one option is a metronome. So with a metronome, gives you these 4 clicks. The first one is accented, so it's louder. It's your 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to strum 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You see how I'm doing that? It's keeping me in time. I don't have any other option. I have to stay in time with that. Otherwise, it's going to sound horrendous. But what it does is it shows me you're off tempo. You know, if you're not going along with that rhythm of the metronome, then it's going to sound terrible. So it lets you know real quick whether you're in or you're out of tempo there. Another way you can do that is with a drum beat, which is so much more enjoyable. This is the difference. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. Isn't that more fun? So that's what I was talking about. If you get a drummer, a drum machine, some little drum beat, now you can have some more fun. Obviously, we'd speed that up. We're only at 60 beats a minute. That's how many beats there are per minute. If we sped this up to something more realistic, let's just say we were at 100. Here's what it would sound like. Big difference there, all right? And 4 and using the same strum method. That's probably more closer to a song tempo. But, my biggest suggestion to you, as always, is going to be start at a slow pace. Clean it up. Clean up your technique, and then gradually speed it up. With all that said, all right, so let's go to our first strumming patterns. First, we're going to do quarters. What is a quarter? A quarter is you have 4 beats, which comprise a measure. A quarter is a quarter of that. It's 1 beat. So instead of 4 beats, it's a quarter of that. It's 1 beat, right? So our strums are going to last for 1 beat. 1, stop. That's it. 1. Now, if you're going at a fast tempo, that 1 beat is not going to last real long. If you're going at a slow tempo, of course, that 1 beat would last much longer. So you got to, that 1 beat is all decided by what the tempo of the song is. So to give you an example, we're going to strum 4. We're going to grab our G chord. If you don't know your G chord, go back to those other videos. You should know this like the back of your hand. So this G chord is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want you to start tapping your foot. I don't care if it's your left foot or your right foot, whatever works for you. But tap your foot as you play. That will help you kick in that internal clock. And every time your foot hits the floor, you should be strumming down. 1, 2, 3, 4. My pick is going downwards as well. Can't really see it too well, but it's kind of angled like that. 1, 2, because it's gliding across the strings. It's not jabbing down into each one. It's gliding across each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty easy, right? We're going to slow that down because I want to be able to switch chords with you too. We're going to slow that down to the 60 beats a minute, and we're going to strum between G, E minor, C, and D. We're going to do one measure on each. What does that mean? We're going to do 4 beats on each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're done. Okay? So we're going to do it with a drum beat because it's cooler. Ready? 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, let's do it again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. C chord. Let's go to the D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and end. Okay? Pretty easy. You can do this. Pretty blah, but hey, we're starting. Let's do a mixture now of quarter notes with half notes. Half notes. A half note is half of the entire 4 counts, so that's going to be 2 beats. Instead of 1 beat, it's 2 beats. So quarter notes or 1 beat, a half note is 2 beats. So a quarter note, 1, stop. A half note is 1, 2, stop. Make sense? Hopefully so. So for instance, if I were going to do 2 quarter notes and 1 half note, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? So we're going to do that one strum on G, then E minor, then C, then D, just like we did last time. Ready to hit the road? Here we go. 2, 3, and 4. G, 2, 3, 4. E minor. 2, 3, 4. You're kicking it. All right, let's add a whole note strum. A whole note strum is 4 beats because the whole note is 4 beats. A half note is half of that, 2 beats, and a quarter note is a quarter of that, which is just 1 beat. Pretty easy stuff, huh? So we have quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. So as an example, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what we did there? We mixed the quarter notes with half notes and then 1 big whole note strum. Let's try that together. Ready? Here we go. 2, 3, and let's rock it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big whole note. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Messed up. And 1, 2, So now we've learned quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. Let's learn the 8th note and start having some fun. This is going to require down and up picking. Before I've been just strumming just like this, right over the sound hole, not back in here. Hear the difference? All the sound holes where you want to strum at. So now with a 8th note, you want to strum over the sound hole, down and up. Look how loose my wrist is. Gliding the strings across the neck. I'm sorry. Gliding the strings across the strings. Gliding my pick across the strings. Gliding my pick across the strings, okay? Your hand is loose, but it's not too loose that you're going to drop that pick. You get it too loose, you're going to lose that pick in the dreaded sound hole. See? Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Just strum across. That's a good technique. Before you even start this, just strum and strum on one chord, just getting that wrist used to gliding across the strings. Now let's try it with one chord. And we're going to count it a little different. We're going to throw in an and now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we were doing a count here with a metronome, it would sound like this. Let's try it with a metronome. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'm running out of breath. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. Alright, now I want to show you something I call rock and roll 8th notes. What do I mean by rock and roll 8th notes? Well, it goes like this. You can do a palm mute too. A palm mute is this part of your palm right here, and just lay it across the strings a little bit. Listen to the difference of the sound. Here's without it. Here's with it. It's got that rock and roll kind of thing, especially when you That's that rock and roll kind of thing, okay? So a rock and roll is all down strums. Let's go 1 and 2. We're slowed down. It's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So now you know the 8th note's down up, and you know the 8th notes as all downs. Let's combine 8th notes and quarter notes. Got your seatbelt on? Better buckle up tight. We're going deep now. Let's see. Let's do 8th notes and quarters. Let's go down, up, down, down. What? Down, up, down, up, down, down. That would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Make sense? 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So down, up, down, down. Pretty easy stuff. Let's do it with Mr. Metronome. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4. Again, if you cannot change chords quick enough, go back and watch my Changing Chords Quicker video on YouTube. Let's go to a little quicker tempo just to give you a better idea of what that would sound like a little bit more. Just give you a let's go up to 95. Let's see what that sounds like. We're getting a little closer. That's what you want to do. You want to start it slow. If 60 is too fast for you, go down to 50 beats a minute, or 45, 40, whatever it takes to get it nice and clean, and then gradually speed it up to a nice speed that you need. So let's take a look and advance a little bit more. Let's do down, up, down, down, up, down. So that would be 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, just something a little different. We're going to vary it up each time. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Ta-da! You're done. Another thing that you can do is down, 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 up, down. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where was that? 1, 2, 3 and 4, 2, 3 and 4, and the song. Let's talk about one last thing. Rests. A rest. You know what you do during a rest? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, give me an example. A quarter note and then a rest. Strum, rest. Strum, rest. Strum, rest. Now, what am I doing over here? You've seen, you might have seen I'm just kind of lifting off with my hand, and the little bit of my hand here is just kind of, if I can grab any of those strings to shut them up, to stop them from ringing, I do, but I don't go crazy. I just kind of move my hand just to touch, if I can grab any strings, or just touch them, basically. I'm just bumping up against them with my hand, any fingers that are available. See, I'm not going to do anything with my right hand, but I can still pretty much shut them up just by shifting my hand down a little bit. See that? The other option that you can do is shut them up with your right hand. I'm just kind of going down with this part of my hand here is touching the strings. After I strum, ukulele people, players will call that a chuck. In a real world example, let me give you an example. Funny, real world example. So that was the example. Let me show you with my right hand. Let's go pretty fast. Chuck thing. Okay, so let's start. You got to start slow on the chuck. You can't jump into that. I just wanted to give you an example of what that sounds like in a song. It's used all the time. I mean, all the time in songs, and it's that rest. It gives you a rest, but it gives you a percussive kind of feel in your strumming. It sounds, whoa, that sounds cool. You know, instead of just up 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you know. Left a good job in the city. You know, kind of thing. So rest, we're going to go quarter note strum, rest, quarter note strum, rest, quarter note strum, rest. You get the idea. So let's come off of, we'll do the drum beat thing. So again, strum, rest, strum, rest, strum, rest, strum, rest. Okay? 2, 3, and 4, and strum, rest, strum, rest, strum. You don't have to really chuck it really hard. You know, there's a time for that. There's a time just to stop the strings from ringing because there's a rest there. Rest meaning nothing is playing, so you don't have to go chunking your guitar really hard. I mean, there's time for that. You know, kind of routine on your guitar. This isn't that time. We're just trying to have nothing playing. So, and strum, rest, strum, rest, strum, rest, okay? So without the loud, just strumming, rest, strumming, rest, strumming, rest. And then this time we're going to do 4 beats, and then we're going to chuck over to the next chord. So, which would be G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do it with the drummer. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do it down, up, rest, down, up, rest. That's an 8th note. 2 8th notes, down, up, rest. Okay? 3, 4, down, up, rest, down, up, rest. A little bit more challenging. Okay? Get that working on 1 chord before you try to add in other chords. Work on 1 chord at a time. Show you my right hand. Rest. You don't have to chuck it really hard, just stop the strings from ringing. Rest. 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 Okay? Down, up, rest. Down, up, rest. Switch to E minor. C to D. Here we go again. D. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and D is running out of air and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 Okay, that's all we got for today. We'll do another episode, maybe a 2 or a 3 or something like that, to show you a little bit more advanced strum patterns. So I got a couple last things for you. If you like the video, please subscribe. Please hit the like, comment any comments that you have, okay? And when you need equipment, go to dcmusicstore.com. We appreciate your business. Till then, God bless you. Take care. Have a great time. Keep the fun in music. Start slow. Back up, watch those other videos, how to tune your guitar. What are the first chords to learn how to play? What's the correct order to play them in? How do I switch chords faster? All those videos right there should be watched before this one. See ya. Have a good time.